Hello and welcome to your daily oracle reading for Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. I'm Linda the Lightworker. I'm a shamanic practitioner and I make these daily videos so we can all stay on our purpose-driven path, living one day at a time, living up to those commitments we've made to ourselves about taking really good care of ourselves. That means having a positive outlook, doing our best to stay healthy and to eat well and to say nice things to ourselves. So if this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. All my info is down below in that doobly-doo box. LindaTheLightWorker.com is my website, or you could email me directly, LindaTheLightWorker@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. All right, today's general reading, especially during this time of COVID, I'm using the wonderful Gregory Scott's tarot card, tarot deck, and instruction book. It's got this little pamphlet instruction book. It's so clear. You're going to understand this deck so easily. All right, let's jump into the cards. Our first card today is the Two of Swords. So we've had this card come up before, and the Two of Swords, swords are, they represent the suits, the air sign suits of swords. So the Two of Swords here. The question always is, are you the person that is bound, teetering on a little rock here, blindfolded, hands clasped, like they've run away from something and they're on these rocks, and any wrong move could be very dangerous for her. She could fall on a sword or fall behind and hurt herself. But I really believe perhaps you are this person, the one who showed up to help this person. So the invitation here today is to ask yourself, am I in need of someone else's help, or am I here as the helper? And I suspect if you are on my channel watching this, you're probably the helper, because we light workers tend to really rush in and help, especially those who might be feeling in distress. So if you are the helper today, be sincere, mind your tongue. Listen, this person that's all bound up and is going through her own experience, you need to be the supporter and say, look at how his arms are open, like, just lean towards my voice. He's saying, I will catch you. Be that support for someone else who might be trapped in a victim sort of point of view, or maybe something has really happened and they're completely bound up by circumstances where you just discovered them, or just there as their helper. Remember to lay down these swords. And when I say lay down those swords, that means mind your tongue. Pay attention to your words. You know, as helpers, it means that we are not there to judge others for being in whatever circumstances they are in. And we're only here to help them bring the light. And if we're able to physically help in some way, such as, oh my gosh, let's jump into our next cards, such as the Six of Pentacles, which is the charity card oftentimes in traditional tarot, or generosity of being able to help someone else. This doesn't mean that you have to throw all your coins at someone else, but this is you being in your magical manifesting role and generating this goodness and light. And the coins only represent, yes, they represent the material, but for you to show up for somebody else who really needs you right now, it's more than that financial thing of buying them a cup of tea or whatever. Perhaps you're able to help somebody out with some groceries, but this is deeper. This is coming from your deep wealth of inner wisdom and generosity, and just showing up and sharing your time is helpful to another. And then the companion card that came with it was, we got a pair of sixes, right? We got the Six of Pentacles, and those pentacles, that's especially true for our earth signs, right? Those are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Happy birthday, Virgo. But we also have the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is all receiving good news and being able to respond to the positive opportunities of this good news that's coming through. So let's just imagine for a moment that this is your kid or somebody whom you really love or cherish. And not only are you able to help feed them, but you're able to let them know how to get these resources. Like, be the bringer of good news. And if you're not the person who is doing this rescuing and helping someone else out, stay open to news of how you may be able to volunteer in a way that makes you feel good to help others. Because as humans, stepping into beingness, right? That's my thing. I really believe we're evolving into the human being. Pretty much we're the human doing most of the times. But staying open into the beingness allows this abundance of growth and opportunity to unfold. So that's the invitation of staying open to that beingness and responding to that call. All right. Our final tarot card today is the powerful Justice card, right? So there are consequences that happen, and that's what justice is, based on all of our choices. So I don't want to be blaming, so I'm not even going to say that whole thing. But sometimes, let me see if Spirit's going to give me a couple of different words I can say. Sometimes that victim mentality needs to be poisoned to get rid of it, to release it in a way, or that victim mentality can prevent us from stepping into our power. Like when we stay in a victim mode, and it's easy to do. Listen, I spent a lot of time as a victim. I really believed all of the trauma that I was creating for myself. And sometimes there's actual trauma. But paying attention to the justice that comes forward. Maybe you get to hold the light for someone who has been victim of a terrible circumstance and help their accuser or whoever perpetrator to come to justice. That could happen too. Or there might be a judgment coming. Judgment and justice are two different things, Spirit's saying. All right, okay. All right. Spirit's saying if you stay above the law, you won't have to have any harsh consequences. So it's really looking at where you are and accepting the help from others. Perhaps there are people are around to help everywhere. The helpers are everywhere. What's that thing Mr. Rogers says? He learned it from his mother. When there's a time of crisis, look for the helpers. And I know you're a helper. So do your best. Stay in your integrity. If you are helping someone, stay clear with your words and be sincere. Be your most authentic self. Don't judge another for their circumstances because you don't know their full story. And if you're able to help and be of charitable or to offer that loving support to another person today, do it. Because the consequences that will come from that are these karmic, that's not the right word, karmic bonuses that comes from Spirit. All right, our final card today comes from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. You know I love this deck. All right, this is the fork in the road. What the fork is that all about? Well, it looks like a llama with antlers. It's standing at a crossroad where there are monkeys hanging off of this sign. There's some monkey business going on here. So the invitation here, when we're at this fork in the road, it's about making a choice and having your wits about you. You know, if you're going to engage in some monkey business, know that there will be consequences and that perhaps the direction you are headed in needs to be reevaluated, and it's time to look at which way you really want to go. It's very possible that you have rescued this person time and time and time and time again. And the justice that's coming forward is that you put yourself first and make sure you know where you're headed first before you take care of anyone else. So that's the invitation today. Seems like we got a lot to think about, but some good news is on the way. There's positive news here. There's plenty of abundance. So stay out of that lack mentality, because it's really not true, even if you are feeling bound up by it. That is an old false belief that's ready to pass away. All right, so that's time for it to go. All right, my dear, that's our reading for today. Sounds like we could have some challenges, but you know what? I know you can do it. I know how strong you are and how hard you've been working, and you've been really sticking to those commitments you've made to yourself. And you know what I find to be the most important thing, especially when I'm helping someone else, is really to take that woe and that pain that I'm feeling from that empathetically from someone else, and turning that over to God, Spirit, the universe, Amma, turning it over so that Spirit knows that I'm there as a helper, and together I'm going to listen to Spirit, and that's where I'm going to take my action from. All right, my dear. Sounds tricky, but you know what? I know you can do it. Okay, that's our reading. If you're one of my first-time subscribers or new subscribers, thank you so much for being here. I'm just so thrilled that you are. Let me know how you're doing in the comments box. And just remember, just take it slow, slow it all down, and all those answers are all around you. So you got this. All right, my dear, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.